God's chosen one. If this video finds you, you need to see it. That's not a coincidence. That's not an accident. Something far beyond what your eyes can see or your ears can hear has brought you here. There's a message waiting for you, buried deep in the currents of fate. And this is the moment it finally rises to the surface. If you have ever felt like you don't quite belong, like you're walking through a world that can't seem to understand your fire, your purpose, your depth, then this message was written in the sky for you. Stay with this video until the end, because what you're about to hear could realign everything. And now go to the comments and speak your warmest, most heartfelt wishes into the world. Then seal it with a 77. That's the number of completion, of spiritual awakening, and of divine alignment. Also, like this video, subscribe to the channel. There's something you've carried inside you your entire life. A frequency, a spark, the kind of light that can't be put out, no matter how dark the days may have gotten. You were chosen long before you were born, marked by something eternal, called by something that cannot be touched by human hands. You've been pushed down, doubted, ignored, misunderstood, not because you are broken, but because you are different. And now, this is the turning point. You need to understand this clearly. The universe does not move randomly. This moment, right now, is proof that something in the fabric of reality is shifting in your favor. Even the stars above are watching closely. And yes, this is the season where your long-held dreams, those sacred wishes you buried in silence, will begin to stir. It all begins not with noise, not with a thunderclap, but with a whisper in your spirit that says, "This is it. This is your time." You've been prepared for this moment through every trial you've faced, every person who walked away, every loss, every lonely night. Wasn't just pain, it was pressure. Pressure that turned you into something rare, something resilient, something the world doesn't see every day. God has been sculpting you in the unseen, and now He's ready to reveal you to the world. You don't need permission. You don't need to be understood. What you need is to remember. Your path was never meant to look like anyone else's. The things you've survived weren't random. They were tailored to train your soul for a mission only you could fulfill. You were made to be misunderstood because what you carry is not of this world. Feel the pull in your chest right now. That's not emotion, that's memory. The memory of who you were before the world tried to reshape you. You came into this life already carrying a calling. You were meant to disturb comfort zones. You were meant to awaken sleeping hearts. You were meant to be different. And for far too long, you've tried to blend in when your power was always meant to stand out. But no more. You are here now. And this is your activation. This is the call you've been waiting for, even if you didn't know you were waiting. The energy you've been sending out, every prayer, every hope, every step taken in faith is returning to you now, multiplied, magnified, unstoppable. There is something about you that even the darkness recognizes. That's why it's tried to keep you small. That's why every time you were close to rising, something tried to silence you. But you can't silence a soul that's been anointed. And you are anointed. The pain didn't break you. The delays didn't stop you. The betrayal didn't define you. All of it only sharpened you into the kind of person who is now unstoppable. Your humility is your weapon. Your silence has been your shield. But your time of hiding is over. The light is coming through you now, and it cannot be dimmed. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be present. Present in this moment. Because something ancient, something sacred, something beyond human understanding is unfolding in your life. The gifts that have been dormant are awakening. The doors that were locked are swinging open. You are not behind. You are not too late. You are exactly where you're meant to be, right on schedule with the divine blueprint that's been written just for you. The delay was never denial. It was preparation. So when the breakthrough comes, and it's closer than you think, you'll be able to hold it with strength, wisdom, and grace. You don't see it yet, but there are people waiting for what you carry, waiting for your words, your voice, your presence. Your journey isn't just about you. It's about everyone you'll inspire, everyone you'll uplift, everyone whose life will shift just by coming into contact with your energy. That's why the enemy tried so hard to keep you down. That's why the weight has felt unbearable at times. But through it all, your soul kept rising. Because deep down, this world needs what you carry. The old version of you was built for survival. But this new version, the one you're stepping into now, it was built for impact. There are layers of yourself you haven't even accessed yet. There's wisdom inside you that's been hidden under the noise of fear and doubt. But now, the veil is lifting. You'll start to remember what you were always meant to do. Your gifts are coming alive. Your vision is becoming clear. And the people who are meant to walk this next chapter with you, they're being aligned with your energy even now. You don't have to chase anything. What belongs to you is magnetized to the real, authentic you. The version that doesn't shrink. The version that walks in truth. The version that no longer apologizes for taking up space. You were never meant to play small. You were born with a purpose so grand that even angels leaned in to witness your journey. And the reason it's taken this long? Because what's coming for you is heavy with glory. It's not a small assignment. You are being entrusted with something divine. And heaven doesn't release weighty blessings until the vessel is ready. You are ready now. You've been forged in fire, purified by pain, and trained by delay. And now, the gates are opening. You won't have to force your way through. Just keep walking in alignment. Keep choosing truth. Keep staying faithful when no one's watching. That's what separates the chosen from the average. There's a shift in the air around you, a stirring in the unseen. And though you can't touch it yet, you can feel it. That's confirmation. You're not imagining things. You're not being overly hopeful. You are hearing the whispers of a future that's already been written for you. You are glimpsing the outline of a destiny so powerful that even the darkest forces tremble at your awakening. Keep moving forward, even when the path is unclear, even when your faith is the only thing you have left. That's when the miracle hits, not when everything is perfect, but when you choose to trust anyway. This is not the end. This is not even the middle. This is the beginning of the unveiling, of the rising, of the moment the universe finally catches up with what your soul has known all along. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were born chosen. You may have wondered why your path has been so different, why you felt things deeper than most, heard silence louder than noise, and sensed truth in ways others couldn't understand. That's because you weren't born to walk the same road as everyone else. You weren't created to follow the crowd. You were called to lead it, not by force, but by presence, not with noise, but with unwavering light. And often, the ones with the greatest missions are hidden in plain sight, overlooked, underestimated, even broken by the very environments they were sent to heal. The intensity of your life hasn't been a mistake. It's been the training ground. Every moment you wanted to give up, Every time you cried out in frustration, every silent night you sat alone, questioning your worth. It was all molding you into something indestructible. You were being taught how to recognize pain so you could one day lift others from it. You were being trained not to escape the fire, but to walk through it, carrying others with you on your back. Your scars are not shameful. They are proof that nothing could take you out, that no weapon formed against you prospered, that the darkness tried, but you kept shining anyway. You're not the only one who sees it now. The spiritual realm sees it too. There's a quiet awakening happening around you. The energy of the room changes when you walk in, not because of how you look, but because of what you carry. People feel safe around you without knowing why. They tell you their secrets. They look to you for strength they can't explain. And it's because there is something in your soul that reminds others of something ancient, something true, something real. You reflect a light that this world forgot it needed. There's no need to rush anymore. There's no need to prove anything, because you've already won battles no one knew you were fighting. You've already climbed mountains in silence that would have made others fall apart. You've already been tested beyond measure and still came out with your heart intact. That's not weakness, that's power. That's divine resilience. And now, every tear you shed, every prayer you whispered, every step you took in faith is echoing in the halls of eternity. The heavens remember. And now it's time for you to remember too. You are walking into a chapter where clarity will replace confusion, where power will replace doubt, where love will replace fear. But in order to rise fully, you must first release the story you were told about who you are. That narrative that said you were too much, or not enough, or too different, or too late. It was never yours to carry. Let it fall away now. Let the opinions of those who never saw your soul be buried in the silence of your past. You don't need them to understand. You only need to rise. You may not have had anyone to guide you, but still, you rose. You may have been surrounded by chaos, but still, you found peace. You may have been left out, left behind, misunderstood, but still, you found your way. That's what chosen ones do. They don't just survive, they transform. They transmute pain into power, confusion into clarity, silence into truth. You are more powerful than you know, not because of what you've gained, but because of what you've overcome. The enemy would love nothing more than to see you doubt yourself, to see you question your light. But that time is over now. You've grown too much. You've seen too much. You've heard the whispers of truth that others ignore. You're awake now, and once your eyes open, they can never truly close again. You see through illusion. You recognize falsehood. And that's why you've been attacked, belittled, drained, because the light in you exposes what's hidden in others. But no matter what came against you, it couldn't win. Why? Because your story is being written by something greater. Your life is not in the hands of man. It's held in the hands of destiny. And destiny does not forget. It does not delay. It does not make mistakes. It aligns. And right now, that alignment is unfolding all around you, sometimes in ways that don't even make sense. The people leaving, the opportunities shifting, the sudden revelations, it's all part of the realignment. You are being placed exactly where you were always meant to be. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not forgotten. You are a key, a spiritual key that unlocks something divine in others. You carry codes in your words, in your energy, in your very presence. That's why you've been silenced so often. Because when you speak truth, chains break. When you walk in light, shadows dissolve. You have no idea how powerful your presence truly is. But you're about to find out. The universe doesn't need you to be perfect. It just needs you to be open, to be willing, to be aligned. The calling on your life doesn't require fame or applause. It requires courage, quiet, consistent courage. The kind that shows up even when no one's watching. The kind that listens to inner truth over outer noise. And that's what you've been doing, whether you realize it or not. And now you're walking into your return, into the unveiling, into the reward for every moment you chose faith over fear. This isn't just your glow-up. This is your spiritual return. This is when everything the enemy stole gets returned with interest. This is when the world begins to see what God already knew. Not because you're trying to prove it, but because you finally allowed yourself to be it. Be the light. Be the truth. Be the love. Be the storm. Be the answer you've always waited for. You're not waiting anymore. You're becoming. You're arriving. You're standing in the middle of your own prophecy coming to life. Can you feel it? That shift, that trembling in the air around you? That's your spirit, remembering who it was before the world tried to make it forget. That's your soul, reclaiming what was always yours. That's divine alignment. That's purpose. So keep walking, even when it feels like nothing is changing. Keep trusting, even when the path feels hidden. Keep rising, even when no one applauds. Because something greater is watching, and it's getting ready to pour into your life more beauty, more strength, more truth than you've ever imagined. This is your moment, not to perform, not to please, but to be. And you, chosen one, you were born for this. You've always carried something different, haven't you? Not just dreams or desires, but depth. There's a knowing inside you that didn't come from this world, a sense that you've been through lifetimes of understanding, even if this one tried to make you forget. And now, the noise of the outside world can't drown out the voice that speaks within, that quiet, steady voice that keeps telling you, you are here for something more. Not more in the way the world defines it, more in the way eternity does. You were never meant to be a copy. You were born original. That's why conformity never fit you. That's why systems and structures suffocated your soul. That's why you always looked around and wondered why others could pretend so easily, why they could numb themselves, shrink themselves, silence themselves, while you felt like you were suffocating under the weight of pretending. Because you were never created to blend in. You were sent to awaken something. You were sent to disrupt the slumber of this world. The discomfort you've carried for so long wasn't punishment. It was your spirit fighting to be remembered. It was the divine part of you shaking loose from false identities and labels that were never yours. Every moment of confusion was a portal to truth. Every moment of pain was a path back to yourself. And now, the mask is falling. The act is over. The real you, the eternal, awakened, infinite version, is stepping forward. Chosen one, you are not defined by your past, your pain, or the people who couldn't see your worth. You are defined by the light that refuses to go out inside you. You are defined by the way your heart still beats for truth, even after it's been broken. You are defined by your ability to keep standing even when everything around you told you to fall. And it's time to stop apologizing for your fire. You weren't made to be mild. You were made to be a signal in the storm. There's a reason why you've always been sensitive to energy, why you've walked into rooms and felt the weight of unspoken pain, why people are drawn to you and feel seen in your presence. That's not coincidence. That's a spiritual gift. You are not just someone with empathy, you are someone with divine perception. You read beneath the surface. You hear what isn't said. You see beyond the veil. And the world needs that now more than ever. But don't let the world exhaust your light. Don't pour yourself out for those who only want to drain you. You're not here to be depleted. You're here to overflow. You're not here to carry everyone's burdens. You're here to remind them how to lift their own. You are not a savior. You are a mirror. You reflect back to others the truth they've forgotten about themselves. And if some reject that light, it's because they're not ready to see, not because you are too much. You have to stop trying to convince people of your value. That was never your job. Your value is not negotiable. It is not determined by who sees it. It just is. Just like the sun doesn't explain why it shines. Just like the stars don't beg to be noticed. You shine because you were born to. And your glow is not dependent on approval. It is a declaration of purpose, of presence, of power. What you're stepping into now isn't just a new season. It's a new identity. One where you no longer shrink to fit into places you've outgrown. One where you no longer silence your truth to protect other people's comfort. One where you rise, not as who they told you to be, but as who you actually are. And yes, it may cost you certain relationships. Yes, it may create distance. Yes, you may find yourself walking alone more often. But remember this, you are never alone in purpose. You are accompanied by the divine, guided by the unseen, carried by the current of truth. The world may not understand you, but that's because you weren't made for this world. You were made to transform it. You weren't created to survive inside the system. You were created to bring light to what was hidden in it. And sometimes that means being misunderstood. Sometimes that means being doubted. But it also means being free, being awake, being real. And nothing is more powerful than living in truth. So yes, you may feel like you're walking through a wilderness right now, like everything is being stripped away, like you're losing more than you're gaining. But hear this, the wilderness is never the end. It's the beginning. It's where false identities die. It's where illusions fall. It's where clarity is born. And you are not lost. You are being refined. You are being reintroduced to yourself without the noise, without the lies, without the fear. You are being reminded that you are more than a name, more than a role, more than a body. You are an essence, a flame, a divine spark wrapped in skin. And no system, no title, no experience can take that from you. It is who you are. It is who you've always been. And when you walk in alignment with that, you become unstoppable. Not because you dominate, but because you radiate. You shift the world, not through control, but through consciousness. Let go of the need to explain. Let go of the need to defend. Let go of the need to make sense to people who were never meant to understand. You are not here to convince. You are here to be, to exist fully, to shine wholly, to embody truth without compromise. And when you do that, when you walk in that vibration, you don't have to chase anything. What's meant for you will find you. It already is. You've been doing the inner work. You've been healing wounds no one saw. You've been shedding layers that no longer belong. And now, the energy around you is responding. Doors are shifting. Paths are clearing. Connections are forming. Because when you align with who you truly are, the universe aligns around you. Not instantly, not all at once, but steadily, faithfully, beautifully. So walk boldly now, speak clearly now, love freely now, live loudly now. Because you are not who you used to be. You are not who you were taught to be. You are not even who you thought you had to be. You are who you were always meant to be. And the world, it's finally ready to meet that version of you. The whole you, the healed you, the radiant, relentless, chosen version of you. And it starts now. You've always known the way, maybe not with your mind, but with your spirit. Even when you questioned everything around you, even when doubt wrapped around you like a storm, there was something deeper in you that never gave up. That's not by accident. That's who you are. That's what makes you different. You weren't made to be a wanderer forever. You were sent with a map that only your soul could read. And now that map is glowing again. Every step you've taken, yes, even the ones that felt like missteps, has been leading you right here. Every delay, every betrayal, every tear, every silence. It was all shaping you. It was never meant to break you. It was meant to burn away what was never yours to carry. Because you cannot rise into who you truly are while still clinging to false attachments. You cannot wear your crown while holding chains. And chosen one, the time has come to drop the chains. What you're carrying right now, this calling, this truth, this fire, is sacred. It's not something you found. It's something that was placed inside you before you were even born. That's why it feels so familiar, even when it scares you. That's why you can't ignore it, even when you want to. That's why walking away never works for you. You were never supposed to walk away from your purpose. You were meant to walk straight into it. And the world might not applaud when you do. Some people won't understand the shift. Some will fall away. Some may even call you arrogant for choosing yourself, for choosing alignment, for choosing truth. But hear this, you don't need their permission. You don't need their validation. You don't need them to see what the divine already knows. You are not here for applause. You are here for impact. And sometimes, the greatest impact is made in silence, in stillness, in sacred solitude. You've felt that solitude before, in the nights when no one checked in the seasons when your light seemed invisible to the world, in the moments when you gave everything and still felt unseen. But you were never unseen. You were hidden for a reason, protected, preserved, because what is sacred must be shielded until it's strong enough to be revealed. You were being prepared, not punished, and now the preparation is over. Now it's time to rise. You don't owe anyone an explanation for your glow. You don't need to tone it down, dim it out, or tuck it away so others can feel comfortable. You are not responsible for shrinking your soul just because someone else hasn't met theirs yet. Let them catch up, or let them walk away. But you keep walking in light, because your light is not a burden. It's a blessing. It's not an ego trip. It's a divine assignment. The voice inside you, the one that says keep going, that's not just hope. That's instruction. That's confirmation. That's your divine frequency echoing back through every moment of doubt you've faced. And even now, as you hear these words, something in you recognizes the truth of them. Not because I say it, but because your spirit already knows it. It's remembering. It's rising. It's reclaiming what was always yours. You have gifts that have been dormant, not because they're broken, but because they were waiting for you to be ready, waiting for you to believe, waiting for you to stop hiding behind the past and step fully into the present. And the present is calling you now, not as a whisper, but as a roar. You're not here to merely exist. You're here to activate, to move things, shift things, wake up sleeping spirits with the sound of your presence. Do not underestimate what you carry. Do not belittle the power of your being. You are not small. You never were. But you've been living in spaces that tried to make you feel that way. You've been giving your energy to things that never deserved it. And now it's time to draw the line. Now it's time to remember that you are a portal to divine reality. You're not just in this world. You're affecting it. You're vibrating change just by being fully awake. And that awakening, it's not an accident either. The universe didn't just stumble upon you and decide to pick you. You were always the one, always the chosen. Even in your lowest moments, even when you thought you had nothing left, you were still chosen. Because this isn't about perfection. This isn't about never falling. This is about always getting back up, stronger, wiser, clearer. Every scar you carry is not shame. It's evidence. Evidence that you survived what tried to end you. Evidence that you are more than flesh and fear. You don't need more time. You need more trust. Trust in the process. Trust in your intuition. Trust in the divine timing that's been shaping this very moment. Everything that once felt like rejection is being revealed as redirection. Every no you faced was making room for the yes that couldn't reach you until you were ready. And now you are, ready for the fullness of your identity, ready to hold the weight of your purpose, ready to shine without apology. So lift your head, straighten your spine, speak with clarity, love with power, choose with intention, live with vision. You were never meant to settle. You were never meant to blend in. You were meant to create. You were meant to lead. You were meant to wake up this world by simply being who you are, fully, boldly, brilliantly. You are not here by chance. You are not watching this by mistake. This moment is a mirror. This voice is a reminder. And this truth, it's your permission to begin again, to return to yourself, to walk as the chosen one you've always been. And this time, nothing and no one will stop you. There comes a moment in every chosen one's life when everything begins to make sense. Not because the chaos stops, but because the soul becomes louder than the noise. You've arrived at that moment now. You're not the same person you were when you began this journey. Look at how far you've come. Look at what you've walked through, what you've healed, what you've released. You are not behind. You are not late. You are blooming exactly on time. You've always had a different rhythm than others. Your lessons were harder, your pain cut deeper, your silence echoed louder. But that was never a punishment, it was preparation. The kind of strength you were meant to carry could only be forged in fire. The kind of clarity you were meant to hold could only be found in stillness. And the kind of love you're destined to radiate, it could only come from someone who has learned to love themselves in the dark. And you did. You made it through. Not perfectly, not without scars, but powerfully. You are not broken. You are reborn. And this rebirth, it's not a soft whisper. It's a thunderclap. You are being reintroduced to yourself, not as the person the world taught you to be, but as the soul you've always been underneath the survival, underneath the fear, underneath the conditioning. There is nothing humble about pretending to be small. There is nothing noble about shrinking your power to comfort people who are still afraid of their own. You are not here to make others comfortable. You are here to be fully alive, to be an invitation, to be a mirror, to be a reminder that light always finds a way through. Even if the world forgot, even if they called you too much, too intense, too sensitive, this is your proof that you are always just right. The shift you're stepping into now won't be subtle. It won't be soft. It won't be something you can hide. The frequency you carry is no longer dimmed. The energy that once lay dormant in your spirit has been awakened. And once it's awakened, there's no going back. You may have to walk alone for a while. You may lose people. You may lose old versions of yourself. But you will gain everything your soul came here to experience. No more playing safe. No more waiting for the right time. The right time is when your spirit says, now, and your spirit is shouting. This is your moment. Not just to witness your transformation, but to own it, to embody it, to walk into every room like you belong there. Because you do. You don't need permission to exist. You don't need a stage to be seen. Your presence is the power. Your alignment is the message. Your existence is the miracle. You've learned the hard way that not everyone can come with you. Some weren't meant to. Some weren't ready. Some were only temporary reflections, lessons, or detours. And that's okay. Release them with love. You don't have to carry the weight of unhealed connections anymore. You don't have to prove your worth to people who refuse to see you. Let them go, because what's coming for you will see you clearly and love you deeply. You've cleared so much space. You've said goodbye to versions of yourself that once held you back. You've ended cycles that your ancestors couldn't. You've disrupted patterns that tried to repeat through you. You've opened portals your past selves only dreamed of. And now, everything within you is realigning to the highest vision of your soul. You don't even need to chase anymore. What belongs to you is being pulled in by your frequency. That's what happens when you stop betraying yourself. That's what happens when you choose peace over people, when you choose depth over distractions, when you choose truth over comfort. The universe doesn't just notice, it responds. It moves for you. It begins placing things, people, and moments in your path that are in resonance with your truth. Because now, you're finally in tune with who you are. And that truth, it's not for everyone. Not everyone will understand your choices. Not everyone will like your energy. But you didn't come here to be liked. You came here to light up rooms with your presence. You came here to anchor truth into a world that's forgotten it. You came here to carry codes that can't be spoken, only felt. And the ones who are meant to find you, they will feel you. Deeply, instantly, eternally. You no longer need to shout to be heard. You no longer need to prove your heart. Your energy does the speaking for you. And that energy, it's potent, it's healing, it's commanding. Walk like you know that. Move like your soul is already crowned, because it is. The waiting is over. You don't need another sign. You don't need to figure it all out. You are not meant to have all the answers. You are meant to trust the next step and take it boldly. And yes, fear will still whisper. Doubt will still try to knock. But they no longer own you. You've danced with your shadows and learned their names. You've stared into the depths of your pain and found your power. There is nothing left to fear. There is only everything left to claim. And what's ahead of you is not ordinary. It's not average. It's not explainable to most, because your journey isn't about logic. It's about alignment. So rise like the miracle you are. Let the world adjust to your new frequency. Let your past versions stand in awe of who you've become. And let your future self smile, because you finally remembered. You were never meant to play small. You were always meant to change the world, just by being you. You are standing at the threshold now, not just of a new chapter, but of an entirely new book. One that you were born to write with every heartbeat, every breath, every brave choice you make. This is not just a turning point. It is the point. Everything behind you prepared you for this. Every lesson, every heartbreak, every delay and redirection was the universe folding itself into a shape that could carry you here safely, so you could finally step fully into yourself. And here you are. The world may still be asleep, but you are awake. And being awake in a sleeping world is a sacred kind of ache. You see deeper now. You feel more. You sense what others miss. You are no longer moved by noise. You are moved by knowing. There's a gravity to your presence, a quiet fire behind your eyes. You're not who you used to be, and that's exactly the point. Because the old version of you couldn't walk through the doors that are about to open. The old version of you couldn't carry the frequency you're meant to emit. That version had to die so you could rise, not as someone new, but as someone true. And truth? It's magnetic. The moment you surrendered the need to be who they wanted you to be, the universe began shaping everything to meet the real you. You were never waiting for the world to change. The world was waiting for you to remember who you are. Now, the calling on your life is no longer subtle. It's echoing through your body. It's laced into every thought. You feel it when you wake up. You sense it when you're still. It's not just a feeling anymore. It's a knowing. A knowing that your life has purpose, that your path is divine, that your energy is needed, that your voice, your vision, your very existence has a ripple effect beyond what you can see. You're not ordinary. You never were. Ordinary people don't carry the kind of light that makes the darkness uncomfortable. Ordinary people don't break cycles and rewrite timelines. You've done what others couldn't. You've stood up when others gave up. You've spoken when silence was expected. You've loved when it was easier to shut down. And for that, heaven applauds you. The universe clears the way for you, because chosen ones move with a different current, one that can't be copied, only awakened. And let's be honest, awakening hasn't been easy. It cracked you open. It stripped you of everything false. It demanded your trust when nothing made sense. It asked you to leap with no promise of a landing. But through it all, you've become something unshakable. You've built a life from ashes. You've turned pain into wisdom. And now you rise with an inner peace that cannot be touched. Let them wonder how you made it. Let them question how you're still standing. The answer will never be found in logic. It lives in your spirit. You didn't survive by chance. You were carried. You were chosen. You were guided. And now, you're not just walking. You're glowing. You're transmitting healing through your presence. You're awakening others just by being who you are. You don't even need to try. Your energy speaks the language of remembrance. This is sacred work, not because it's loud or visible, but because it's real. You're healing generations. You're lifting veils. You're holding the line between light and shadow. You're reminding the world what soul looks like. And that work, it matters more than anything. Even when it goes unseen. Even when it's quiet. Even when it's lonely. Especially then. You may not always feel ready. You may still have doubts. But hear this now. Read it again and again. Readiness isn't a feeling. It's a decision. And you've already made it. You chose this path before you were born. You agreed to shine, even when it hurt. You signed up to lead, even when your voice shook. And now, that agreement is being fulfilled. With every step, you walk deeper into alignment. With every breath, you activate more of your divine memory. And here's what your memory holds: the codes of your mission, the truth of your frequency, the blueprint of your soul's design. You didn't come here to learn who you are. You came here to remember. And remembering is a fire. It burns away illusion. It makes space for truth. It resurrects your power. And your power, it's not loud. It's not forceful. It's ancient. It's knowing. It's the kind of power that shifts timelines without speaking a word. So walk into the next season without fear. Not because it's easy, but because you're finally aware of what lives inside you. You are the miracle you've been waiting for. You are the light in the room. You are the confirmation. You are the sign. And the world, it's already changing in your presence. This is your time. Now go, and don't look back.